So today I'm going to do an extremely quick build of a very simple primitive stool using tenons into some reclaimed lumber. Let's start cutting. So today we're going to be making a very primitive, simple stool. 4 legs. I'm not going to make a round seat or anything fancy. It's just going to be basically a plank with regular, basically everyday, easy to find scrap pieces of wood. So this is going to be constructed out of 2x2s, which is more like a 1.5 inch to 1 3/4 inch dimension. Then we also have a 2x6 that we're going to be working with. This has a little bit of character to it because this is a little bit older. And then I'm also going to be using a very minimal amount of tools in a relatively rapid amount of time. So the tools that I'm going to be working with are a simple handheld electric drill, and I have a 1-inch bit on here, 1-inch paddle bit. I'm going to have a mallet for pounding in a wedge later on. I have an adjustable compound square to find the angle that I want and allow me to drill at the angle that I want it to be in. A saw for all my cuts. Nothing but rip cuts today. A piece of wood that I can drill in to get my original angle so I can have a repeatable angle for each one of my 4 legs. And a carving knife to whittle down my my square stock here to make a tenon to actually fit into the mortises that I'm going to be drilling with the drill. Very simple. I think the last piece of tool that I'm going to be using is just a simple clamp. This is just to secure the material as I'm working with it, and it's also to hold down my angle finding piece of wood. So let's get cutting. I did have one chip that I didn't actually want to happen, so have a little chip right here. So that kind of annoys me because this is the top of the stool, and I want to keep this relatively nice looking. So I'm going to glue this back on just so I don't have that chip showing. So I need to start cutting down my legs to size. So I'm going to do this quite a few times, but all with just a hand tool. This is a bunch of crosscuts. So first thing I need to do is decide on if any of the cuts that I have right now are okay for starting my cuts, and I'm pretty sure none of them are going to be great. Partially because I know that my legs are going to be running at an angle, and they're going to be making contact with all the surfaces at an angle as well. So I want to try to replicate that angle for every cut that I do. So to do that, I'm going to move my compound square out that is already set at the angle that I've already established, and I'm going to use this as a starting point. So now I'm going to do this each time for each one of these legs to give me a starting cut, and then I'm going to measure my legs up from here and then give myself that same cut again at the top. So I'm expecting to have to trim off some material, but this means I have less material, and it's going to be closer to being square already before I even have to mess with it at the very end. What I'm doing right now is looking for areas that have knots or dramatic twists or cracks, checking in them, so I can avoid those pieces to give myself as good as you can get out of pine anyway. And also looking down the leg too and seeing if there's any spots that are going to be a big problem. To make this happen, I have my initial mark that is an 1.5 inches down from my top. So that corresponds to how thick my seat is. So 1.5 inches looks just about perfect. So I am going to use this line as my starting point. want to lock this into place. So like I was saying, I need to cut a wedge into each one of these and lock it in place. This is what I would consider an extremely primitive stool, but that was about 2.5 hours worth of work time, and most of it was spent just whittling the tenons, and I'm a pretty fast whittler, so yeah, for a quick Saturday project on a Tuesday, not bad.